The Kremlin has invented a scarecrow for itself in the form of an imminent and inevitable civil war in Russia. And this isn't just some, whisper in the corridors. No, this isn't some behind closed doors murmur, but rather completely official concerns voiced in the most reputable state media, which are seriously talking about an inevitable civil war. This piece, I think, is called Who Are We? It has a nominal author, but most likely these panicked texts capture the collective fear of all the Kremlin's grim jesters, and their feelings are justified. Logically, for its actions, the regime has long since earned a springtime hanging from a lamppost, with its guts spilling out. And the Kremlin people are right to be amazed that all their crimes go unpunished, at least for now. Well, anyway, they justify all their vile deeds by the supposed need to preserve Russia's sovereignty. They go on and on about this sovereignty day and night, without ever really considering what the hell Russia even needs sovereignty for. Why does an aggressive and backward country need sovereignty? Why? What is it even for? Well, unfortunately, the answer is very simple. Russia needs sovereignty only so it can torment its own people with impunity, rob and humiliate millions, to make several generations miserable, to bomb theaters full of children, to commit genocide, and to keep their own people outside the big cities in filth, poverty, and squalor. But actually, in reality, there isn't even a hint of civil war. Lenin and Trotsky understood this. The necessity and, let's say, the irresistible allure of civil war, but they also understood that you could only truly stir people up for war with the direct temptation of looting God. Today, having learned from bitter experience, people realize that large-scale looting isn't going to happen anyway. There are just too many different kinds of cops now who will have the opportunity to loot everything themselves, and after them, all that will be left are some miserable scraps that clearly aren't worth the revolutionary fuss. And no other interesting motivators for a civil war are being offered to the people. Let's not fool ourselves. People would have been ready to follow the opponents of the authorities even 10 years ago if they had believed in the seriousness of their intention. People would have joined in just for the action, just to cancel those damn mortgages, to make the rapid careers that any revolution always offers. To settle scores with personal enemies, with the rude members of United Russia, they would have joined, they would have. But the peaceful protest that the Russian opposition offered the people, what is a peaceful protest after all? I said that this is the most humiliating form of submission, the most ridiculous form of submission. But beyond everything else, peaceful protest is the declaration of a lack of serious intentions. It's a pointless intellectual gathering. Serious intentions begin with Molotov cocktails, with shotguns, with rusty Kalashnikovs dug up from gardens and hiding places. And all these white ribbons, flashlights, smart voting, they can't inspire anyone because it's a declaration of unserious intentions. There are technologies of revolution, there are technologies of changing power. And when we see that the dictatorship has already ossified, that the dictatorship already has such a degree of strength that no flashlights, no peaceful protests can even budge it. Of course, no one is going to play at changing the government. Although, yes, there was a moment favorable for revolution, and if it had been carried out according to the technologies of revolution, it could very well have been successful. However, my dear friends, that train has already left the station. because of a whole host of reasons that you already know.